seem like dream roles for an actor because you get to explore so much on an emotional level, but at the same time, they're also very intense emotions. So are these characters that you miss playing at all, especially having had such a long break due to COVID, or are they characters that you're glad to pack away for a little bit?
I'm happy to pack it away a little bit. My character this season was a tad bit intense. The ride was a little bit intense.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically. So, I'm happy to put it down for a little bit.
Yeah, but personally, I feel like the 8 or 9 months that we spend shooting is definitely enough time to live in that space, and it's nice to shed the skin for a while. But it's also a treat to go back as well.
Yeah, I mean, do any of you guys really miss your character when you don't get to play them, or are they someone you're glad to not have to always have around?
I miss being on set and hanging out with these guys, and the camaraderie and the connection that we have. I miss that.
Yeah. For my character, there's a certain kind of like honesty and vulnerability that's nice to tap into and feel on a more constant basis.
I'm curious, Austin, for you. I mean, the breakup scene between Ethan and Kat was one of the most memorable moments for me in the entire season. It's just such an interesting dynamic between the two of them. She's so sure she wants to break up with him, and then tries to fake a terminal illness instead. Yeah. What was that whole scene like to shoot? Does it feel like a real sort of defining moment for your character and their relationship?
Yeah, I would say so. Like for me, that that scene, there's a long scene, and there's like, it feels like a journey into becoming a man a little bit, or just at least growing up a little bit more. Because by the end of it, I feel like Ethan's been trying to make it work, been trying to make the relationship work for like a while at that point. And I think there's like an understanding of like, oh, I don't think I want this anymore. Yeah, so I think by the end of it, at least for me, I felt like there was growth character-wise.
Angus, I also thought your character has a really interesting dynamic with Lexi this season. Of all the people on this show, I mean, what do you think it is about Lexi that interests him, and why is he so genuinely interested in her?
I mean, I feel like Fezco just he hasn't had a lot of time in his life to feel those feelings and put the energy put his energy towards anything romantic, It just hasn't been a part of his life. He hasn't been available to it, and so it's definitely, I feel like him and Lexi and Maud, when we work together, it's like him really like figuring out some of his own, or like tapping into some of his innocence, and maybe some of like the experiences that he lost or missed out on because he had other responsibilities, So their relationship is special because, also Lexi, her character probably hasn't had much in the realm experience of relationships and whatnot either, because she's so shy and whatnot. So it is kind of a strange pair up, but it also works pretty perfect because Fezco's not an evil bad guy, He's really a sweet guy. So you get to see that part of him, and I'm glad I got to tap into that part of
Jacob, the scene between Nate and Maddie in the 6th episode where he shows up in her room with a gun and then holding the gun to your head. I mean, that is a scene that really bothered me and stuck with me. So what was it like to do that, to read that? Did you have to justify his actions to yourself, or do you have conversations with Sam about that?
I think for me, it's just, it's never about judging what he's doing and putting myself in sort of the headspace where I can maybe see how that's like a feasible outcome or something that the character would do. But it was a lot. It was a really, really frightening scene to go into because, they're real guns. And so for about the week leading up to it, I was, you kind of have to start putting yourself in a space because, for me, it was like being okay with killing yourself is sort of what that scene was for me. It's like, I'm ready to go kind of thing. So it was it was a lot to sit there and then actually put the steel to your head is, it was interesting, but it was also, it was thrilling,
Eric, your character has quite the revelatory monologue this season. So what was it like to explore essentially like everything he's dealing with and not expressing all in one moment?
It's so much fun at times because I don't have to deal with real world consequences. So I get to explore all these behaviors and have these moments that I really get to indulge without having to deal with any of the repercussions, that comes with the reality of all that stuff that Cal's doing. It was very freeing. I found it very freeing. This season was a pretty wild ride for me.
Yeah, that was definitely a wild moment. You all have some very memorable moments this season, so thank you for talking to me about it.